Warm welcome to all the viewers today. My name is Justin Bishop, and today I'll be presenting to you about how social networks can help to save lives in the future. Social networking is a communication tool that the modern world is fast becoming reliant on and may soon need the key to actually saving lives in disasters. Just a quick presentation outline of what I'll be talking about today. First, I'll be going over the importance of social network in a disaster situation, before a discussion on the impact that the social networks will have on organisations involved, and finally a conclusion summary. So, the growth of social network is increasing at a phenomenal rate. As shown in a chart from Perrin, the percentages of all American adults on social networks has raised immensely over all income grades from 2005 to 2015, and this rate has continued on into 2018. This next chart also shows the immensity of social media connections of those around the world, not just in America. Statistica has not only found that there are currently 2.62 billion social media users in the current year, but that this rate will continue to be a whopping 3 billion or more by 2021. So, what does this mean for organisations in the future? Social media is one of, if not the main communication tool for many companies, looking at government, non-for-profit organisations. It is important that they have a good connection to their audience through this tool. Urgent messages, notices, suggestions, and all the like can be portrayed to their audiences in times when need, and it's instant as well. Facts from an investigation in my chosen feature article called How Social Networks Can Save Lives shows that people are more widely connected on social networks, and the ones that are directly connected to government branches are the groups that are more likely to follow recommendations in a disaster situation, so like evacuation orders. How is this important in disasters? Well, this makes the social networking tool important to emergency services, first responder units, businesses involved in disaster. For example, businesses that need to connect with their clients or their employees, such as banks, insurance companies, is especially important for emergency services to get an indication of the areas that require the fastest aid right after a disaster. This would help lower the use of resources in areas that are less in need, saving time and money. Being such a big connection tool for many organisations then raises many concerns of being able to connect at the most desperate times. To be connected to social networks, people must have access to the internet, though we all know the internet is not a sure thing, especially after a big disaster as a tsunami or an earthquake, for example. People are almost becoming too independent on the internet, and they expect to be able to connect. How will the use of social networks affect organisations in the future? Governments will need to have a responding unit in place to their target audiences. A wider reach and a better plan will also be required. This will help to ensure that urgent messages and information will be able to reach specific audiences quickly when needed. Better communication methods such as videos, live streams, photography can all be used to help get to audiences to catch their attention. It is said that visual communication is a more attention-catching tool rather than, say, written text. For example, if executed correctly, emergency services will have a better indication of where to focus their time and resources, especially immediately after a big disaster. This will be important to first responder and rescue teams where time is of the essence and lives are on the line. A checklist system could be in the lines in the future also, helping to ensure that everyone is safe before, during or after a disaster. There could be problems with natural disasters without warning though. Say it's losing connection, you don't get warnings with an earthquake as such. Businesses that rely heavily on the communication tool of social networks may not be able to communicate with their clients and employees when needed. So just a conclusion, social networks do have a large potential to be extremely helpful in the future, but also today. I think the advantages of it we've got things in place right now that could help. Potential for organisations to build their audience through social network communication. This is in specific relation to governments, as my study found people are more inclined to follow procedure when it's coming from an important association. Though there are many positives, there are also negatives. Like we were discussing, the connection is a big negative at the moment. There's nothing in place to get a connection up immediately if internet is lost in an area. But I think we can conclude that social networks, the tool of social network communicating, will help to save lives in the future during a disaster or in the very near future. That concludes the end of my presentation. I'd like to thank you for your time, and yeah, cheers.